Hello and welcome to Sacred Foundations. I am Julia Frainer with Jill Chesro. We are the founders of this monthly card reading, Oracle card reading. I am so happy to be with you. Jill, how are you doing?
I am doing great. I am so excited for this September reading. I think I mentioned it the last couple of times that I have been, actively engaging in deepening my work with the Sacred Foundations reading, so much so that after 9 years of doing a newsletter for my business and doing a card reading in that group, I just said, you know what? The Sacred Foundation reading has so much depth and richness to it that I invite y'all to come on over into the Sacred Foundations world. And I put a pause on my newsletter and I'll have to regroup. But really working with these cards has been life-changing for me personally. And I know it has for several of the people that I work with. So Jules, how has it been working for you and your peeps?
Yes, and yes. So I had ended my newsletter a while ago and just kind of fell off. But the Sacred Foundations readings I've been using with my clients as well. It's kind of like the foundation is what I'm finding for the building each month. And then when we've added the frequency cards that you have too, it's just really amped it up even more. So I have loved it. Thank you so much. I love our time together. I love what we do. And I know that it ripples out to the people that show up and are engaging at whatever time, space, reality they're showing up to these readings. But you know what I really feel? I feel this wave, this frequency that goes out into my family, into my community, the community of women that I work with, into the world itself and beyond. And I feel that what we bring, what we channel through, is really doing so much good collectively as well.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like Julia just said, and I'll just say it in a little bit different of a way as to how I interpret it, in that, yes, so the people that join together in this online space and whatever time, space, reality, as Julia said, you're doing it, your energy is adding to this and expanding it and grounding it and anchoring it. So, it's not just Julia and I sitting here doing this work. It's just not the wisdom from the women that created the Oracle card decks that we're using, and then the Sacred Foundation frequencies. It's all of us collectively. So thank you for being here and sharing this space with us. Obviously, this is pre-recorded. We can't see you, but we energetically feel the energy. So thanks.
So good.
All right. So I'm going to start time stamping these videos. So if you kind of already know us, if you know the flow and the routine of it, you can just go down and click to start of monthly reading. And then, and then you'll just dive into the reading. But for those of you that are a little bit newer to us or want to have a little refresher on how and why we do what we do here, we're going to jump into that really quick right now. So Jules, should I pull up the slide now, or should we kind of say what we're doing first?
Either way, let's just look at the cards. I think it's good to get that frequency out there, the energy of their beauty.
All right.
And, the other thing I was going to add when you were saying that the ladies themselves, the women that contributed to these two Oracle decks, I think every time we meet and we share their work, their energy, we haven't pulled one of our cards, but I would imagine I should reach out to some of them, that their life is just like a little bit more lifted as well. So infused with the beauty of their work out there. But anyways, just thought of that.
I love that. Yeah, I definitely can think of a couple people that I could reach out to with this particular reading. So, all right. So awesome. So, all right. So every month we pull 5 cards and we use 2 different decks. we use the Awakening to Your Divine Self Oracle card deck, and we use the Priestesses of the New Earth deck. Julia has her decks all intermingled together, so when she pulls her cards, she does it with them combined. I keep my decks separate, and then I just intuitively go to which deck feels correct. So each of these 5 positions in these cards has a specific meaning. If you can see my cursor move, this is the base card. This is the theme of the month. And then the second card is, it can illustrate your hopes and or fears on how you're feeling about the theme of the month. Julia and I each pull a card for this second spot. So that's why you see 2 cards there. Then this third card over here is the helpful energy card. And then this card over here is the obstacle challenge card. And then the answer outcome advice card is on top. So, you know, we want to look at each card individually and then just kind of put it together as a whole. I usually, you know, will zero in on certain things in my own personal life or when I'm working with clients, but it's different for everybody and you'll find the flow that works best for you. So the way that we do this reading is either Julia and I go first and we share the insights that we are intuitively receiving from the cards. Oftentimes our messages overlap and sometimes they're different. Julia will pull out different aspects that she is intuitively feeling into, and I'll pull out specific aspects. There's various different reasons why that happens. They're all beautiful and wonderful. If you want to know more, reach out to one of us. But that's kind of how we move into the reading. So if we didn't already say it, this reading is for September 2023. And you might come across this reading at a different year or a different month. Know that whatever the message is that we share is for you in that moment. So we'll use a little bit of time-based reference. Sometimes Julia will pull in astrological events or timing of the year and stuff. But if you see this September video in January, just know that there's a message there for you. Julia, I'll mention the 1, 2, 3 cards in a minute, but do you want to add anything else about what I've shared so far?
No, I think you're covering it beautifully. Thank you.
All right. So card readings have really, they're layered. You can interact with the cards here, here, or go deeper. It goes either way. So wherever you start to interact with the cards is perfect for you. As an additional layer to these cards, Julia and I created these Sacred Foundation frequency card sets. So I love playing with Julia as far as creative energies go. So this frequency set came into being to support and amplify the Sacred Foundation monthly readings. And, even if you don't do the monthly reading and you want to just dive into the Sacred Foundation frequency card set, they were created, I should really kind of say downloaded, to support you in developing and deepening your Sacred Foundation. So we like to work with a monthly reading and then use the cards to go deeper. Some people just want to work with the frequency cards themselves. Whatever you choose is best for you. We're a little biased. We think it's, really great to work with the card reading as a whole and then deepen it with the Sacred Foundation cards. So we have set this up for you to, if you want to go a layer deeper, to pick a Sacred Foundations card. So we've got card 1 here, card 2, and card 3. So as we go about the reading, we invite you to tune into the energy of one of those 3 cards and see what additional information is available to you. So once we wrap up the main reading, then we'll say goodbye. And then if you want to go into a card that you picked, it'll be time-stamped and you can go straight to that reading and hear just a little extra information that can support you at this time. All right. Hopefully that made sense.
Totally did. I totally got it. And I think as we unfold this new way of doing it over the next few months, it's going to make more and more sense. Yeah.
All
And
right.
Jill is the mastermind over these frequency cards. I just am so blessed to be able to play with them energetically, but she has created them and they are so, so powerful, so powerful. And sets are available if you are interested in them. So,
Yeah, reach out and let us know, or there's links to our websites. But we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. All right, so I'm going to take away this screen. I might pop it back up later, but again, you're going to want to pull frequency card 1, frequency card 2, or frequency card position 3. I should say positions because the cards themselves have different numbers. But anyway, so yeah, all right, pick a card up here if you're going to go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we are going to jump into the reading. All right, I want to mention one other thing though. So if you are newer to Oracle card decks, or if you just kind of want a refresher on how to work with them, Julie and I are going to share the wisdom that comes through, right? I already said that. What we want to invite you to do is tap into your own inner wisdom, your own inner knowing. So even before Julie and I go into the reading, if you want to pause this video and you just want to take a moment and you want to look at these cards and you want to see what stands out for you, not even looking at the positions of the cards or anything, but looking at the card, what stands out for you? Look at the title of the cards, look at the imagery, look at the colors of the cards, and any particular thing that stands out for you. We encourage you to journal down your thoughts so then you can use them in a grounded, practical way moving forward as we go into the month. So, jot down what is the first thing that what is the first thing that you see, first color, first image, first keyword, any of that, first thought or feeling that comes up for you, right? Because we don't ever want you to, we want you to take any and all information that you receive through your own wisdom, right? And then take what resonates for you and let the rest go. All right. So, Julia, is there anything else you want to add to that?
no, you're covering it, Jill. You're nailing it today.
All right. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and start. I have a tendency to read just kind of, I don't want to say surface level because I feel like what I say is important, but or at least it is for me. But Julia goes so deep into just pull stuff from so many different dimensions and often says it in a really nice poetic way. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to go kind of fast. I talk fast in general, and then Julia is going to take it to a whole nother place. So, all right. So if you were with us last month or the last couple months, you will know that Rebirth was actually in the obstacle position last month. So super interesting that it's here now. And then the StarLight Essence card, I know we've seen recently. So, okay, so I'm going to start with StarLight Essence. But first, I'm going to tell you that last month, the base theme was Shine Brightly. So for those that are on the continual journey, I want you to think about that because you were being asked to shine brightly, right? You were being invited and made aware of that this is really your time to shine brightly in the world, whatever that looks like for you. So now our base card, our theme card for this month is StarLight Essence. Look at this woman. This figure on the card is actually a picture of the artist that created the card, excuse me, which I think is so awesome. And look at, oh my goodness, excuse me. So sorry. So you've got the universe here, you've got the stars, you've got this channeling of just divine guidance. In our last answer outcome advice card last month was pure guidance. So here now, you've got this pure guidance that continues to stream into you as you continue to shine brightly. This is like if you did the work and did what you were guided to do last month, this is telling you that you are embodying a whole new level of energy to stand in your own essence, right? That is just such a beautiful thing. So if you are kinesthetic or clear sentience, take a breath and just feel what that energy feels like with your true radiance, your StarLight essence just coming into your physical body. That's amazing. I wanted to look up whale medicine before we started this recording because we've got 2 whales here and I did not. So you may want to, Jules, maybe you'll bring some whale medicine into it, if that was your intention already. But regardless, you may want to explore whale medicine just as a side note. So anyway, so you've got this StarLight essence, you've got this sense of your empowered true essence self. That's the theme of this month. Now, the hopes and fears card, or how you really feel about it, can go a couple different ways. Believe in sisterhood. You might have the hope that you are really fully supported in this seen and unseen world, right? And that's a very comforting feeling for you. On the other end of that, you might not feel supported by others, and you might just feel a little bit alone at this time. So the energy available to you in the invitation is to believe in sisterhood, believe that you are surrounded and supported. I think that this is an amazing card because Julia has a really cool thing happening this month in her world. So I think this is a really neat card to show up here. Now, Rebirth, because it was in the obstacle position last month and now it's in the hopes and fears here, this is telling you a couple different things. Either you really did work on it last month, so you've cleared out that energy and you are in this rebirthing energy. If it's still showing up as a little bit of a wonky fear-based energy for you, that means that maybe you didn't really declutter chaos in your life, either physical clutter in your environment or mindset clutter or something. So you're going to want to be aware of it, especially if you journeyed with us last month. If you did work on your clutter, or if you felt inspired to, but then didn't for various different reasons, but that's going to be important. But we've got this energy here, and I'm not saying it's right, wrong, good, or bad energy. To me, you know, it's can sometimes be chaotic. It's pure potential, but it can be feel chaotic to some people. But you've got this central, figure here, right? So you've got a central figure here, you've got a central figure here. So you are rebirthing when you clear up your space and you allow it to happen. This is still available to you at this time. So now we go to the helpful energy. This is Aroha, love. The artist of this card is from New Zealand, and some of the symbolism in this card, there's a fern in here, which is new beginnings. And then there's a healing hand in there, which I know you can't really see here, but the helpful energy is love, the essence of love, the idea of new beginnings and a fresh start and healing. We've got heart chakra energy here. So really tapping into whatever that energy means for you. It's like an accelerator. It's a beautiful energy available to you at this time to help you stand in and support your StarLight essence. Now we jump to the obstacle card here. So I really want to mention that the artist of these 2 cards is one and the same. So an amazing, beautiful soul. And I'm not going to go off of, I'm doing this intuitively, so I'm not necessarily staying true to the artist's message for the card. I'm sharing what came through intuitively. If you have your own deck of the Awakening to Your Divine Self or the Priestesses of the New Earth deck, we totally invite you to, you know, take these cards, put them on your altar, take the message booklet. That'll bring you a layer deeper, or bring in, you know, a different level of information that is important for you to be aware of. What I'm seeing though is being asleep to your true StarLight essence. So that's an obstacle, to not be awake, to not be aware, to be sleeping, to be hiding, to not be willing to see what it is that you need to see so you can truly show up who you are in your true essence, expressing as your individualized self at this time. So the energy is available to you, you know, are you not awake and aware of it, or in some way allowing any interference or disruption for you to fully receive it here? Which brings us to the answer outcome advice card, which is release. And Just take a breath and exhale. Relax, release, let go of any old stories that you have of why you can't be, do, have, give, and create that which you came here for at this time. So, such a powerful reading, a really wonderful invitation and support to be your true starlight essence right here, right now, and release and let go of what is not true. Okay, Julia.
So good. I just going to preference this with, I'm going to go fast and I'm just going to touch on things. The invitation is, if this cool sparks anything in you and you want to go deeper with it, please reach out to us. We will do what we can to assist you, because this is very, very powerful. This is a very powerful reading right now. All right, Starlight Essence. Yes, as also side note, I pulled oh, I'm going to try and do it with my cursor, but I can't. Starlight Essence, and I pulled Nighttime. And when I pulled, Starlight Essence came first, and then Nighttime came after. And I was like, I don't know that that's right. So I shoved it back in. And again, as Jill said, all my two decks are together. So it's like thick, right? Shuffled them back up, and it came out again. So the idea was that this is really what it was meant to be. This is where I have to just say that I get out of my own way. When I put my way in, I am typically not correct. So I get out of my own way. So out of my way right now as I dive into this reading. Starlight Essence comes up to me. Yes to everything Jill said. And remember, she's shining brightly from her Anahata, the unstruck place, the place of her true essence. That is the light, the spark of your conception, that it is the divine love light spark that is in you, always has been, never will leave you. It is, you are always unconditional divine light. The Starlight Essence is reminding us of that, and reminding us that we are born of the stars as much as we are of the earth. We are the bridge between heaven and earth. Each one of you is the bridge between heaven and earth. The whale comes in, and it's funny because Jill, right when you said I wanted to look up whale medicine, I was like, oh, I did too. And I was going to do it really quick. But so I just went into what is whale medicine for me. And the idea that wants to come through is a whale is large. You don't shrink. Your starlight essence, your earthen vessel says, do not shrink. Be who you are. And as large as these beautiful whales are, right, they do not overtake, well, except for the plankton and the things that they eat. But in essence, they swim in the same sea as everyone else, and they are full-bodied. They will ride along a boat. They will be a companion. And here's the real kicker in this reading. A whale says, I want you, I invite you to go deep into yourself, deep into your subconscious, and every now and then come up and breathe. It's this beautiful, and I think this is where we're being called at this time, this beautiful, go deep, swim, be with your companions, and come back up and breathe. Breathe. You can be both in the deep, subconscious, unconscious, and right here in the present now. You can have a foot in both, in the waters and the land, in the heavens and the earth. You can ride both. So owning your starlight essence. Also, the other thing that's really cool about this is we see this, she's in the center, the galactic center. And this is where we have the opportunity to receive galactic codes, light codes, things that are coming through. You're receiving them from the heavens, and just be open to that. Be open to the starlight essence. Be open to our sun, to the galactic center. And it is as big as, right, the ocean. It's expansive, and we're swimming in both. You are swimming in the sea of the universe. Be your full self. Be large. Be who you are. You don't have to be egoic about it, but do not shrink. All right. The hopes and fears, no judgment here, right? Because our fears can become our hopes, right? And fear can be a very positive thing. It can also be a thing that shackles us. So we're not here to judge. We're not here to put weight on one or the other. Be with it and see what that means. Now, of course, as Jill mentioned, I have this retreat starting this week. I do it annually, where a collective of women will come. The majority of the women, we travel together weekly. We meet. And that's the way that I like to roll. Like, I believe that this is a continuum. And this sistership is a group of women who support each other, who love each other, who are there for each other. I mean, and I'm blessed to be the facilitator, to hold this container. And what I know as new women come and other women go is, when believe in a sisterhood and find your community. All women, I think, need, and if you go back through history, you see women love to be in community, but you must be in a community of a sistership of women that that you are aligned with, that you know you can support, and that there's no attachment to, again, the ego. And I'm not bashing the ego. The ego is important. If you ever want to talk about that, I'd be happy to talk about that with you. But it's all about just really being in a community of sistership. It's very beautiful. That can also be very frightening for some women, to come in and be seen. Again, we go to the whale. It's hard to be seen. It's also uncomfortable when you sit in a sistership and it's silent. And I noticed this, that in the silence, we begin to wiggle and jiggle just a little bit. We begin to squirm in the silence. But if you can stay right there and be with it in a community of like-minded women, the silence speaks volumes. It begins to open up into and swim and permeate within us. The other card in the hopes and fears is the rebirth. And Jill hit that on, just hit that so well, right? We get to be invited through all of this work, through you showing up, to be rebirthed. I love that there's the DNA symbol right down the center of this. We are a system of systems. We are messy. Life is messy. And in that messiness, there is such beauty to be held and to be had. And we are continually in this living, dying, rebirthing. It's an ongoing cyclical thing, which we're seeing right now in the season. Many of us in the Northern Hemisphere, we are, summer is waning, autumn is waxing. And I don't know about you, but where I am in the Pacific Northwest, I can step outside, and even though it's warm and steamy sometimes, I smell autumn. I feel autumn. I hear autumn in the mix. And there's a rebirth for me when autumn comes. To me, sometimes autumn feels like the new year. But then I say that every season, right? Oh, it's a new year. But it's all cyclical. It's not linear. And so where in the cycle, where in the season, and I like season better than cycle, although they both have a need. Where in the season are you? Where in the season of yourself are you? Yes, Aroha. I can't say it, Jill, but you say it so well. The things that I wanted to bring up is that word means compassionate love. The helpful energy is to tap into your compassionate love, the love for yourself first. Be compassionate with yourself. We talked about the uncomfortableness of living largely, living who you are, being that brave one to go deep and come back up, but having that compassion. Ferns are so incredibly beautiful. There are so many ferns, and they're ancient, right? And the way that they unfurl, and this is an invitation for your self-compassion to unfurl within yourself, to ignite the Anahata and let yourself shine brightly and live. Do not shrink. Be who you are. Be in the season to come inward and outward as it is best for you. Then it comes over to nighttime, which is the obstacle card. Yes to everything Jill said. Sometimes we are sleeping. So hear what Jill said to that. And then I'm going to add it to those who are waking up. Stay awake. We fall asleep again and again and again. Stay awake. But also, I wanted to hit on this. Be aware that in dream time is as important, or sleep time. Your dream time is important. Your active imagination is important. But be aware that in your sleep time, in the nighttime, work is happening. Your higher self, your spirit team, even you yourself, your body, which is a part of you, this earthen vessel, is speaking and working. It's working things out. It's healing things. It's sending messages. You don't have to dissect it always. You don't have to dissect those dreams, but know that something is happening when you are sleeping, and be in the awareness that in your unconsciousness, there is so much greatness about you that is occurring. And then the outcome card, you can see that how that all ties into her resting, being asleep. And in that rest, we're releasing things. But the other thing that's coming up, and I just wanted to read this because it was just so beautiful. In the release card, the artist wrote, "Let it wash out of you and seep into the cleansing waters of Mama Earth." There is so much water in this reading, and the idea that you can go into that state, and it looks really metamorphic to me. Like, what season are you ready to morph into? And that's different than transformation. A metamorphosis is a completely whole new creature. And that is your invitation this season, this month. What about you is ready to do that? And remember, the caterpillar goes into water, it goes completely flux before it emerges with those beautiful, beautiful wings. There it is, Jill.
I love that. I always forget that the caterpillar actually liquefies. Like, I know I learned it in school, but I had forgotten it. But then when it comes up in, personal growth and metaphysical stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. It does. It totally liquefies. So I love that you pulled the element of water into it from that depth of being, because I didn't even tap into the essence of water. I did forget to mention two things when I was reading it. So if we look at the color wise of the deck, right, because we want to take the essence of the reading, and a lot of it is really abstract, but you want to pull it into the physical world and use it in a practical way, and that'll look different for everybody, right? So, but what I wanted to point out here, just as a potential to think about, is we see all of this throat chakra energy, right? So these light blue cards in the first deck oftentimes will symbolize the throat chakra, and then this color in the second deck symbolizes the throat chakra. So really think about where you don't feel like you are communicating your true essence. For people on the other end of that spectrum might be harsh with their words. So tap into that. Do you not speak up for yourself enough, or communicate what it is that you want to communicate? Or are you a little bit over communicative and sometimes force your opinions on other people, right? This is just, when I talk about layers and dimensions of readings, this is a different layer. This is not going to be true for everybody, but if it resonates with you, reflect on it a little bit. But so you want to be able to balance your throat chakra, balance your communication and your self-expression in the highest possible sense for you. So take a peek at that. Then we've got the heart chakra here. So how beautiful that that you've got this heart energy here and then this throat chakra energy here. So another way to look at this or consider this is, how do you speak about yourself? Like, are you loving and kind to yourself? So pay attention to your communication with your own self. And are you loving and kind and compassionate, as Julia mentioned, compassionate love? Or are you harshly critical to yourself and unkind? So think about that. And then the other thing I wanted to add was, we're talking about this being awake and stuff. On a very mundane level, this could also be telling you that you're not allowing yourself to get the rest that you need, that restoration, that rest, that sleep, to put yourself in that state of receptivity and being able to, go through your REM cycles and get that restorative sleep and the messages that you need to get, and your body can kind of regroup while you're sleeping. So pay attention to your sleep here, and if rest is important to you. That's going to be extra important if you picked, I won't blow the number right now, just in case you haven't picked 1, 2, or 3 yet, if you're going deeper with this frequency cards, but that it's actually going to show up. So if you pick that certain card that really emphasizes rest, then you're going to want to look at your rest patterns and see if you're getting enough rest and sleep in your life, because that's going to be really important. All right, Julia, anything else to add before we say goodbye and then go into the frequency cards?
No, I think we're good. So if this is where you wanted to end, we are sending you so much divine love light to you, from our hearts to you. If you picked a card, please stay with us and we're ready to roll. So let's go for it, Jill.
All right. So just super quick, if you didn't pick your card, but now that you want to, so you're going to pick either card 1, card 2, or card 3. All right. But if not, goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next month. Okay, ready for the reveal?
Yep.
Card number 1 is, this is the 4th frequency card in the Sacred Foundations set. And even though the messages are, they're longer, they're detailed, there's different parts and aspects to it. So you can really read it and see what was resonant for you at that time. We're just going to share some of the basic information and how you could utilize it with the reading as a whole. So the keywords are gratitude and spiritual growth. So we invite you to consider implementing or stepping up your gratitude practice. Julia and I both have gratitude practices in our lives that we utilize all the time. It's part of our Sacred Foundations. It's so important. Sometimes if you have a gratitude practice in your life, it might feel a little bit stale, or you just kind of do it, like half effort or whatever and fluff over it. But this is an invitation to deepen your gratitude practice, because it's really going to help amplify the beneficial energies and help you start to, gain some momentum and forward movement, whether it be in your mundane life or with your spiritual growth, or actually really both. And then there is an affirmation for this card. Is I constantly remind myself to enjoy all the good I have in my life right now. So, Julia, what could you add to that?
Yes. So I love gratitude. And as Jill said, we have a gratitude practice. I believe that gratitude will catapult your spiritual growth to love and above faster than anything else. And I take gratitude into what I call authentic gratitude. Jill and I can co-facilitate together a huge gratitude workshop. And I put that out there, Jill, because I think it's about time that we do that again. Anyways, what I wanted to bring up is in gratitude and in spiritual growth. And what I love about this card is the red. Red is symbolic of fire. Fire is the energetic realm, and it asks us to utilize our willpower, our energy. It's the action. And in order to amp up your gratitude and to have spiritual growth, it requires you to lean into it, to, as it says, consider implementing or stepping up. Step into your gratitude and your spiritual growth by upping that gratitude practice. Thanks, Jill.
Love it. All right. So yeah. So now if you take this card and you bring it back to the reading, one of the things that you may want to consider outside of that gratitude practice is focusing on this helpful energy card here, right? Because when we think about gratitude, we think about kind of heart energy and stuff. Then you may want to maybe reflect a little bit deeper on this card here. All right, so if you pulled card number 1, we are excited to hear how this helped you go a little bit deeper. And again, Julia already mentioned it. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to let us know. You can DM us if we're friends on Facebook. You could email us, and you're invited to write in the comments below. I will share this just because I'm a very private person. I know it might not seem like it, but I actually am a very private person. So I don't always comment on Facebook posts or, stuff like that, because I just don't know. I don't feel comfortable at this point in time, sometimes. So if that's how you feel, you can reach out to us, in a different way, in a more private way. And we totally get it. So, all right. So work with this energy. We're excited to see how it unfolds for you, and goodbye again. All right. So if you pulled card number 2, that is the 7th card in the Sacred Foundation set. And there's a total of 9 cards, if we didn't already mention that, in the whole Sacred Foundation set. So this is card 7. The keywords are inner radiance, strength, courage, and taking off the mask. If you pulled this card, consider reflecting on any areas of your life where you feel you might not be showing up as your most aligned true self. An affirmation for this card can be, I am radiant light and I am free to be all of me. So, yeah. So, and Jules, what can you add to that?
I love this because it does remind me of a compass every time. I mean, it's a total invitation to be in alignment with your true starlight essence, your true self. And when you are in that, it takes courage to be, to not shrink, to be that. So it's an invitation then with the read to come into alignment and let the reading assist you in doing that. And as you do, when you find your true north, you do see your true essence. I think this is incredibly beautiful. I love taking off the mask too. I think what's really important about these readings, about sistership, about community, is that we are stronger when we are together. Coming together amplifies the potency and the potential of who we truly are. Our true self. Yeah.
Thank you. So Julia already mentioned this, but just as a visual for those of us who are more visual, I'm going to pull it back in. So for those who had pulled the first card, it really helped people zero in on one of the cards, just again, as a layer deeper for them. So for you, if you pulled card number 2, Julia mentioned it, I'm just going to point it out again. You're really going to want to focus on the Starlight Essence card and say, all right, where am I not showing up in my true essence, my Starlight Essence? Where might I be blocking myself or celebrating? Where am I? It's both. You want to look at what's awesome about it and what might be, maybe is less than awesome. Hopefully it's just awesome for you, but it's perfect, whatever it is. So you'll want to celebrate if you are standing in your true essence, or if you did pull card number 2, you might want to reflect on, is there anywhere where I'm still wearing a mask because I either don't feel safe or supported to be my true essence. So, all right. I can't think of anything else to say about card number 2. So goodbye, and we will see you next month. And Julia, this is where I struggle. And for those of you here, just bear with me because I'm not used to wrapping up a segment and then going into a next one and then not saying anything because I feel like I already said it in the last one. But if you feel like reaching out to us and going deeper, or if you have any questions or whatever, you can DM us if we're friends on Facebook. You can email us. You're certainly welcome to leave a comment below in the comment section. I mentioned that I'm a kind of a private person, so I don't often leave comments on Facebook, people's posts, if it seems like personal for me. That's my comfort level now. Who knows? Maybe that's a mask I'm wearing. But regardless, if you want to reach out, don't feel like you just need to comment below. You certainly can reach out to us through email or DMs. Okay. All right. Have a great rest of your September. And if you pulled card number 3, there is a possibility if you pulled a card last month that you pulled this card as well. If that's true for you, you're absolutely going to want to really deeply reflect on it. And if you don't already own your own Sacred Foundation frequency set and have the PDF of all of the detailed messages, Julia, I'd be fine sharing that full detailed message with somebody for number 5 if they had wanted it to go deeper, especially if you pulled it last month. There's really some rich information that is, I believe, that your higher self really wants you to be aware of. So just keep that in mind. But if this is the first time you're seeing this card number 5 in the frequency set, the keywords are integrity, clarity, decisiveness, change, and rest. So consider reflecting on where you are or are not in integrity. And then also, are you getting enough rest? And we're going to tie this into the main reading in a second, but an affirmation, if this card has come up for you, could be, I am always taken care of in the best way, and I can trust the greater whole to guide and direct me. All right, Julia, what would you like to add?
This card just invites me to rest within it. And I love the, in the center, and I know that Jill's going to tie it into a particular card, but the center of this card just reminds me of StarLight essence, that center, that Anahata of who we are. And the golden design, the golden energy around it, it invites us to be surrounded by the golden light codes that are coming through to each of us. So if this was your card, be aware that you can open up your heart chakra to the benevolence of the golden light codes that are coming in for you at this time. I know that's a lot, but if you pick this card, you get it. You get what I'm saying.
I love that. And if you're newer to, again, working with either frequency cards or oracle cards or tarot cards or any type of divination tool, I want to point something out to you. So, a card can mean something completely different to somebody else, right? Like there is no right or wrong. We want you to, again, to trust your inner wisdom when you pull a card, because what Julia said totally resonates with me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is so awesome. So, and it's perfect. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you the essence in the transmission that I got from it was that card number 5 is tied to this rest card here. So you're really going to want to, if you pull that particular card, you're going to want to look at your rest and if you're getting enough of it. And if you are, then obviously that message wasn't for you. But the other card that one tied into for me was actually believe in sisterhood. And I'll tell you why. But now that Julia mentioned the StarLight essence and everything, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that. Of course, that is so perfect. So you guys, so much richness. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. The reason that this card really kind of made me tune into the Believe in Sisterhood card was the part down here in the affirmation that was revealed when I was reading through the messages for these cards is know that you are always taken care of. And if that's, something that you struggle with in this lifetime, the energy of this card really kind of amplifies that and reminds you that you are supportive and there is a sisterhood or a brotherhood or a peoplehood of supportive people in the seen and unseen world. But and you can't really tell from here, I actually just noticed it mostly. I don't know if I get this closer to the thing, but actually in the center here, when I was creating this card and when it was kind of being revealed, it looked like there was a group of people here or a couple different people together. So more than one. And that to me is the essence of the believe in sisterhood, kind of an energy, a supportive energy in there. And then everything Julia said, wow, just wow and wow. All right, so if you pulled card number 3, we invite you to reflect on these messages and the image itself. They are frequency cards, so they do admit an image. If you have any questions or need any clarity or want any clarity, there is an invitation to reach out to us either via email, the comment section below, or in DMs if we're friends on Facebook. I mentioned in the other 2 card readings, I am a very private person. So if I had a question, I wouldn't necessarily, want to put it, depending on what the question was, in the comment section below. But if you don't care, you are certainly welcome to do so. We want you to know that we're here to support you in whatever way that we're able to do on this journey. So anything else that you want to add? I'm going to, well, we already said goodbye. Never mind. Okay, so Jules, help me.
All I want to just add is that I feel the weaving of this read in such a beautiful way, from the frequency cards and how they lay with, work with, weave with September's reading. And it is so beautiful. And we are so grateful that you join us each month. Sharing is caring. So please feel free, if you know someone that could benefit from what Jill and I share, what we do, please share us. It's time that we all ride that frequency that is out there in this vast universe. Thank you, Jill. I honor our time so much together. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia, and thank you to everybody who journeyed with us this month. We look forward to seeing you next month, and yeah, contact us if you have any questions. All right, bye everybody.